Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to episode 17 of the Secrets of the Atlas League here on Ruthless SSF. Still playing the Power Siphon Trickster. This character is fantastic. I love mapping on it. The skill, like, Locust Mine is kind of janky and weird, but now that I know all of its quirks and its weird little, like, glitch spots, it's, like, way more fun to play because now I understand it. I'm probably going to push for some XP today and maybe do a little currency farming. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you near the end. The only real issue I have with this character right now is I just need to get my gem levels up a little bit, and I have no life regen like at all, which does feel pretty bad. But I mean, like, spending 3 points to get life regen just does not seem worth it to me at all. So just a reminder, these videos are usually a day or two ahead, depending on how things are going. So by now, I've definitely learned a lot about this skill. It was like Sunday afternoon that I was like still pretty puzzled by what's going on with this character. But by Monday, I had a pretty good grasp of what's going on. So first of all, I just want to say that some indoor maps, specifically like Toxic Sewer, can be pretty janky and weird with the skill. Like sometimes I'll have to stand right next to the mine so they won't detonate at all. And if I stand far away, they just will never detonate. I have no idea why. I've also been experimenting with the mercenaries. It seems like for some reason my trap. I think it's because he throws traps or whatever. The trapper mercenary, if he's standing next to it, though, they sometimes won't detonate and sometimes they will. It's so weird. And of course, Skitterbots is messing with everything. At first, I thought it was just like the skill was really bugged, or just something weird was going on, which there is something weird going on. But the reality is, there's just a bunch of little factors going on. You know, specifically indoor maps with Power Siphon and Locust Mine is pretty weird, and the Skitterbots are like triggering it sometimes to make my experimentation even weirder. But overall, I'll say Power Siphon. It feels like a really janky skill, but in reality, it's pretty damn strong. I've been finding some pretty decent leveling gear. Nothing too insane, but I mean, like, getting a gold rim is just awesome. And funny enough, it rolled 40 all res, which is disgusting. And of course, I have that Dodre's tenure, which is a 4 link and all white sockets. So pretty much anytime I go to level of spellcaster, I'm going to be in a really good place. My Storm Rain finally hit level 20, so I opened up my Alva Temple here. And hopefully it hits 21. As long as it doesn't hit 19, you'll probably see me play this character again. And it died. Oh, of course. I mean, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that Storm Rain is dead this league, but it's going to be dead for a while. Going from 19 back to 20 is going to take a ridiculously long time, and I have other plans. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep Storm Rain in the back of our mind, but don't expect to see it for quite a while. Going for a very large 3-to-1 here for all my support gems. If you don't know, on Ruthless, you can take 3 support gems of the same color, and it'll randomly give you one back of that same color. But it can only roll within a level range. Like, for example, if you use 3 level 1 supports, you can't get a level 38 support. And yes, you can get stuff like Enlighten, Enhance, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I got 0 gems that I wanted, which sucks pretty badly. Got 18 gems, didn't get a single one I wanted, but whatever, it's fine. The main gems I'd like right now are Fortify support, and of course, I'd really like to get Hex Touch, but I'm not in a huge rush to get that, but it would be nice. So now that we're in the third week of the Secret to the Atlas League, I do want to talk about King's March just a little bit, because when they first announced that they were adding this to the core of Ruthless, to be completely honest with you, I thought this was going to be kind of like the first step towards the end of Ruthless. I was not happy about this at all, but after playing with this for a while, I want to say that I don't think it's that bad. I think boats definitely still need to be nerfed. They are by far the best way to get currency in the entire game. They are incredibly overtuned. Even for, like, as you can see, I'm only doing 800, very tiny shipments. It's making more currency than I could ever make in a day mapping, which granted, if you start, once you get the late game where you're super juicing all your maps, that might not be true anymore. But I mean, this is like the bare bones minimum shipments, and it's already hard to compete with. I do want to say that I like how if you want to do ore, like if you want to make ingots, you actually have to spec into it on your tree. And this node right here, I think, is a really good idea because it's like, yeah, sure, you can get more for King's March, but you have to give up other mechanics, which for people like me that don't really like Delve except for farming for XP, that's not really too much to give up. But for people that like to, branch out and do Harvest and Delve and everything all the time, it's really a pretty big sacrifice. So when it comes to boats specifically, the way I would nerf the boats, for one, we should not have three. I think one or two, I think two is best, but I think even one is a pretty viable option. I think three is very consistent and it's just too frequent. It gives us way too much currency. Also, I think the very shortest port should be at least 2 hours, and then everything else doubles from there. Because the biggest issue with the boats, for me anyway, in my opinion, isn't so much that it gives you currency, it's just that it gives you currency too much for no investment. So next part I want to talk about is the recombination, recombiner. And if you don't know, in Ruthless, we only have the one mode where you can choose, a mod from each item. I think you could choose up to like a certain amount. As you can see, every mod you take, decreases the chances of success. But not only does it decrease the chance of success, but you have to remember if this fails, it just deletes both of your items, so it's a pretty big risk. Now, if you don't know, on Ruthless, we have, very limited supply of exalts. Even with the boat league, like exalts are still very rare. I mean, and also our divines. I mean, just think like this is my like sixth character or whatever. I have zero divines. I've found one exalt and I've gotten one from a boat. So I think adding this to the core game is totally fine. I really like the way they did it, and I hope they never add the other version of crafting where it's like your items just fuse together randomly and it doesn't delete it. Because if we get that one, it's going to completely destroy everything else in the game, in my opinion, because it's way too strong. Lastly, I want to talk about the map runners, which I think are an amazing addition to the game. Not only does it let you get rid of all the crappy maps you're never going to run, or even just, maps that you would have run because they're good tiers, but they just have terrible layouts, you just don't feel like it. It just feels so nice to have something constantly going on, even when you're not playing, or if you're just playing and doing something else in the game. I really like the map runners. I think they're perfect the way they are. I'm still a little bit salty about losing them all to the game crash, but I think they're a great addition to the game. So overall, in my opinion, I think King's March is actually a positive for Ruthless. I think it's very good. It gives you ways to just have passive income, which feels really nice, especially when like you're in those one of those lulls. 'Cause if you've never played Ruthless, you'll get in these lulls where like you'll farm for a very long time and you'll just get absolutely nothing to make your character better. And sometimes that can be very discouraging, but stuff like the boats and the map runners makes it so there's always stuff coming in, and that just feels really comforting. It makes you feel like you're always moving forward, even though you're always moving forward, even without that, but it just makes it easier to feel it. Again, I think the boats need to be nerfed even more, but for a starting point, I think it's really good. I think the way they balanced the ore was really nice, where it's like, yeah, you can finish the bonus objectives, but you're not going to be able to do that without a lot of investment. So overall, happy it's in the game. I still hate that you can, well, hate's kind of a strong word. I really don't like that you can respec for gold. It's way too cheap. I mean, I don't know why this is a thing. I don't like it, but whatever. It is what it is. My main focus right now is just leveling up this character. I want to push for level 89. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to commit to pushing for 90 on this character, but I kind of feel like I just should. Because even if like I reroll another character like right after or not in too long, oh, I mean, I still need to get one of those three auras or get one of those couple uniques I need and I could reroll. But like, even if I do end up rerolling soon, I'm pretty much always going to have this character this league to play. You should expect to see this character pretty much all season, because if nothing else, this character is amazing at mapping, and anytime you could have a really fast and consistent mapper, you're in a very good place during your league. Doing some more essence swap, unfortunately, I just can't get the one I need. It's kind of funny how far I'm getting with this really terrible wand and a 5 link. I can't imagine how amazing this character feels if you not only have like a legitimately good wand, but also just a 6 link on this character, even with the wand I have right now, would probably feel incredible. I finally got a pirate after all this time. It's kind of crazy it took 3 weeks, but I mean, it makes sense. The loot is pretty potentially good. I got 50k gold, can't complain about that. Going for a little jewel 5 to 1 here, and it's pretty bad. Whatever. I mean, I get the valet. Okay. I mean, it could be worse. I don't really know what I'm going to use that for, but I mean, hey, it could be worse. Got a pretty nice helmet here. I'm mostly sticking in Delve. My biggest goal right now is just pushing for level 89 and then possibly 90. And Delve is just so consistent in that regard. It's kind of funny. I think like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was really tempted to reroll all of my Delve scarabs just to get different scarabs. Really glad I didn't do that because my god, it's saving me so much time. Anyway, we did hit level 89. I immediately went to a temple to try to get a big jump start on pushing for level 90, and it was going really well. Also, really insane alch on that ring. But yeah, the XP was going really well. I got a malevolence. I got like 7-8% XP, and we also got a hex touch, which is awesome. But unfortunately, at the end of the temple, I did die to a couple of rares, which made me sad. But whatever, could be worse. At least we got, a couple supports and an aura I wanted. Saving up a bunch of Kirak missions at some point. I'm going to run through all those. Hopefully get one or two unique map completions, but I'm not expecting anything. I got a really nice belt, but it was a terrible base, so I figured I'd val it. Nothing happened, but hey, it was worth a shot. Anytime you get to val something, it's always a win in my book. I am trying to craft a sword. There are a couple things I'd really like to get a nice sword for, but we're not going to talk about that. We'll just see what happens. I did get a Cardinal Scepter here, and I figured I might as well craft on it because it did have 74 memory strands, but it was trash. It was absolutely terrible. Getting a nice stockpile of fossils here. I mean, obviously, my preferred method of crafting my wand is to just use, like essence, but hey, a fossil would be cool. And I wasted my X. So I've decided to change the gear a little bit finally. We have dropped the unique boots, and now we have a helmet that actually has energy shield, which not only gives me a bunch of ES, as you can see here, but if you look at my evasion, yeah, I'm getting more evasion from my helmet than my body armor. I mean, the biggest upgrade I could get right now is like an insane body armor with high evasion, but the odds of that are pretty much zero. Hopefully with this change up though, we'll feel a lot tankier. I'm no longer negative chaos res. My health and energy shield feel a lot better. My evasion is a lot better. It's still not good, but I mean, at least I'm not negative anything anymore, so we'll see how it goes. My cities have been pretty awesome. I actually got a 4-socket resonator, which is sick. I was pretty terrified of dying here because I really want to get all those fossils, so I was going really slow and being very cautious with this. It was all the fossils were stuck up in the corner, and I was really trying not to die. But we did end up getting all of them. Funny enough, ever since I switched over to this more defensive setup, I actually died 3 times in a row in Delve. But like for my entire leveling from 80 or 88 to 89 in the Delve, I don't think I died once or maybe once. But it was just unlucky. The new setup is obviously better. I'm way more defensive. My EHP went up by like 6k or something like that. Got another Kirak mission, which is always nice. And I got Alliance Eye Vision, which at some point I might try and 6-socket, but I'm not going to do that right now. It seems kind of like a waste. I don't even know what my next character is going to be, so I'm definitely not going to commit on like a weird base like that. I have 5 prisms, so we went for a 5-to-1, and it was terrible. Classic. But the Myokun map dropped during Delve, which is pretty awesome. It's not very often you get a unique map in Delve. Makes me pretty happy. And Big Craft. It's trash. What do you expect? I mean, at least I went for it. It would be awesome if the sword hit, but I mean, whatever, man. Yeah, it sucks when you miss, but at least you got to take the chance, you know? I had the 4-socket resonator, which is much cooler than never having it. Hey, made this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. I am level 89, 60% of the way to level 90. I'll be so happy when this grind is done. I have been stuck inside Dell for what feels like a day and a half. I don't, it might not even be that long, but it feels like a very long time. I did change my tree a little bit. I took Survivalist just to make it easier to res cap with my gear. It sucks that like this helmet, yeah, it's really good for me for the flat energy shield because look, I go from 500 to 1,000, and my evasion, of course, jumps up by a ridiculous margin for me anyway. Obviously, 5k evasion is bad, but when you don't have grace and you're wearing gear like I am, it's pretty good. But yeah, it's nice to have like some different gear, but it kind of sucks that I don't know. It feels kind of weird because like I was so used to using these boots, and I'll tell you right now, as soon as we hit level 90, I'm putting the Dark Rays right back on, and my damage, I definitely feel the drop. I lost like 100k damage, something like that, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, and I could definitely feel it. But if I could just get a real wand, I don't think it would matter. But anyway, currency is looking good. I have a bunch of fusing saved up, a bunch of jewelers saved up. At some point, if I don't end up getting one of those auras or one of those uniques that I want, I think I'm just going to try and like 6-socket and 6-link something. I don't know what. I don't really have any like insane body armors lying around. I mean, 600 ES on Ruthless is pretty good. But I mean, like, I don't want to commit to just like an energy shield base. I mean, maybe evasion. But the thing is, like, It's so weird because I do have that 1/6 link, but it's just a terrible base, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. There's even a world where like I might even vendor the 6 link to try to get fusings, but I'm gonna try very hard not to do that. In terms of gems, I'm missing quite a few red, well, not quite a few, but a couple of red gems that I really want, mainly like Fortify support. I did get Hex Touch, which is awesome, and we have Blasphemy, which is great. I think I have pretty much every green gem I could want. I don't really think there's one that I'm missing. Pretty sure I have all of them. So I'm mainly just looking for auras. Now, as far as my plans go, I'm just going to push for level 90. What I'm doing right now is I'm just like, using one or two scarabs for delve, using all of the sulfite, and then going right back into a map and repeating that process. Really just want to hit 90. Like, yeah, getting the challenge is cool, but I mean, we're definitely going to get that at some point anyway. But just getting this character to level 90 would feel so much better that I don't really have to focus on levels anymore, and I can go back to wearing my squishy gear. My essence tab is looking pretty nice. It's getting pretty filled out. I just can't find essences of wrath, and my harvests are just not swapping into them. But once I hit 90 and I can start running really juiced maps, I'm also going to change my tree just a little bit. But we'll talk more about that at a different time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I see you tomorrow.